Hello everybody, welcome to a new video. I will still make the Skull Crawler series by Deku, but right now we're gonna do a new one. This one, as you can see, what if Deku was Dust Sands? Okay, let's get into it. We're going to skip to Izuku's day when he goes to the Quirk Doctor. Oh, sorry about that. When he goes to the Quirk Doctor, and when he is told about his quirk's name, it is called Bone. The reason why it is called Bones, the doctor explains, is that he has the ability to summon bones, many types of bones, either they be strong, weak, or normal. And he explained that there's a few other abilities that he has, but they can't really see what it is. They don't know what his other abilities are. So he tells both Inko and Izuku Midoriya that that also is a new type of quirk. It is both a mutation and an emitter. He says that he says that Izuku's flesh will be decaying away. When Inko hears about that, she is at first scared, but the doctor tells her that it will be fine. This is how mutant type quirks begin. They do changes slowly. And then he tells her that it will only last a week. So only pieces so he will not feel any pain during the process. You cannot rush it either. If you rush it, then he'll feel pain. Inko agrees on that and tells Izuku not to hurt himself and to be very careful this week. I'm gonna say they went on a Sunday, so yeah. And pretty much Izuku agrees, not really knowing why, but he just agrees because he always agrees with his mother. And after she is told about that, she is also asking if they can actually do a little more, testing. Actually, not testing. As they can examine him more, so they can see what kind of more abilities this quirk it will allow him to have. So they will, but the doctor tells her that they will, but not today. He has another patient coming soon, so he tells them that they must. He is free on Wednesday, so on Wednesday they must come, so he can see if there are any more abilities they can find out about. Plus, I'm gonna say this is a different doctor because the other one I know who he is. That dude. Not gonna say the actual word. So yeah, the actual word if that's actually the F word. And if you know it, then you know it. Don't look it up. Okay, back to the story. After they left the hospital, Izuku asked his mother why was she afraid when the doctor told her that his flesh would decay. She explained to him that the meat on. Then she pointed to his hand, his arms, his hands, everything, and told him that all that would disappear. Izuku at first was scared and said, and Izuku started saying, "Huh? It, what will happen? How will I look like, Mom?" And she told him that I don't know how you look like, but no matter how you look like, I will still love you. And Izuku was happy that his mom would still love him, and that he would not be feared by her mother, by his own mother. Sorry for stuttering. It's kind of a problem I have. Okay, and after Izuku was told of his quirk, school started, and when Bakugo asked Izuku what his quirk would be, Izuku said that his quirk is going to take it's going to take an entire it's going to take the rest of the week for it to fully develop and for him to actually be able to use it. But by this time, his some of his flesh was already decaying away. Like like the like imagine your hand, yeah, your right hand and your left hand. Like a few of his fingers were now just bone. It didn't hurt him. And then Izuku showed him what was happening. Bakugo at first, what the, what, what is that? It doesn't even hurt. And Izuku said, no, it doesn't. It's just like how it normally feels. And just like the image, his fingers are actually pretty sharp. And and since Bakugo was creeped out by that, he still was friends with him, but he was creeped out by that. But he and after and only after a few days, I'm gonna say it's Wednesday again. I'm gonna say it's Wednesday. His flesh was way more off. His hands were way more decayed with a lot of his body parts. You could see way more bone than you could see more bone now, and now they went back to the quirk doctor. Another one. I'm gonna say this is a random one because I hate the other one, and he is he tells after doing the examinations, he tells her that the abilities that he also has is is called is called dust. That's all he can see right now. Not even he tried to get a lot of other quirk examining a lot of quirk examiners and people who have quirks that can allow him to tell what a quirk can do. He still were barely able to get anything besides that. He he tells her that whatever he kills will turn into dust. No matter even if it's on him or anything else, or turn into straight dust. She was afraid of that. She asked, why would he have that ability? And why? How? Neither his father or I had those kind of ability, that type of ability, or this one. And and the doctor said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to ask about that. Thanks for reminding me about that. But what are your quirks exactly?" And she, in code, said that her quirk was a kind of a levitation quirk. I can't say that because I forgot the name of it. She can only attract small things to her, and her husband can breathe fire. He was even more confused about that, cause since but then he said, well, his quirk is rare. There's some cases of the child having a different quirk from the parents, but that's pretty rare. Your son might become a strong hero, but you're also a dangerous villain. But you must wait. Do you treat him right at home? And Inko responded, "Why would you ask that? Of course I treat him right. Who would?" And the doctor said, I was just asking. I don't want him to become no one. I don't think any of us want him to become a villain, because if he does, he will not be able to get captured. He can easily get rid of a lot of people and not get caught because there'll be no evidence about the murder. And not only, oh yeah, and also another thing about the dust part, also the clothes will turn to dust. So there's gonna be nothing behind for anyone to find out about. And the bones that I was talking about last time, yeah, he can easily, they can easily turn to dust as well and go away, leaving any evidence, making trying to get him arrested would be pretty hard. So you must make sure that he has a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle, and also treat him with the most other what's the word again? Oh yeah, the utmost of caringness. You must care for him and make sure he does not turn into a villain. And and at the end of the week, time skip, the end of the week, Izuku's flesh was completely off. And Izuku, he looked more like this. By that, I mean more like, a skeleton than anything. And after, and then let's time skip again. By this point, he's in middle school, and at 15, Bakugo got seriously freaked out by his looks when he saw him again in school. He was no longer his friend. He called Izuku a freak. So Izuku was pretty hard about that. Like Ken and Deku, he actually realized that they were no longer friends. Bakugo did not want anything to do with him. So Izuku was sad about that for a very long time. He still is. By the way, I'm gonna say this: his mental state is worse. Since Bakugo thought he was a complete freak, he made his life even worse than Ken and Deku. He treated him 4 times worse. And each time he went home, he always had his bones charred, but he always could have dodged his. He could always dodge Bakugo's hits, but not all of them. Some of them connected and damaged him severely. Then Izuku found another ability of his. He found out that he can actually see the HP of people and himself, and how much damage it can do, and how much defense they can have, and how hard it is to actually damage them. Bakugo attack, his was 10, and his defense was 2. Izuku's attack 2 and defense 3. His HP was only 20, and each time Bakugo damaged him, it did a lot of damage. And he found out that if he eats something like food, it won't go through his body, like, falling out. It'll actually consume it, and it will actually heal him. So he always carries some amount of food with him, so he can heal up. The one that's best for him is mostly candy, because it restores his health, like, chocolate. That's the best one for him. It restores his health to full health. I'm gonna say the chocolate restores itself like 20 HP. And when Bakugo and when we can go to the time where Izuku is called out for no reason by his teacher. That teacher was an asshole, and pretty much that. And after bringing in the papers and doing exactly what he did in canon, and when he read them out loud, everyone was laughing at Deku because since he had his quirk like that, they thought that he would not be able to become a villain. I mean, not be able to become a hero. They thought he would become a villain because his looks. And Bakugo did the same thing by the speech and saying that Izuku would never get into UA, and if he does get into it, he'll kill him. Izuku knows that he can't kill him. He knows of how fragile he is compared to him. I'm gonna say Bakugo's HP is like is 30 because he killed a few cockroaches, and actually not cockroaches, killed a few he killed a few trees. I'm gonna say doing that gives you like barely an HP, but some up. And after so much pain over his life, and humiliated like that, since his mental state was even worse, he was less brave and stuff. And since when Bakugo exploded at the end of the class, when Bakugo exploded his notebook and threw it out the window, he was even more saddened. In Bakugo told him to go jump off. When Bakugo told him the exact same thing as canon, if you don't, he basically said jump off the roof so you can get a better quirk in your next life. Izuku was considering it. He knew that his quirk wasn't a hero-like, but he did not want to hurt his mother. His mother was still kind to him, but she was a little bit afraid of of him when he got when he became like when he was wearing a hoodie. Because when he was wearing a hoodie, it covered his face a lot. Like this one down here, the one with the red eye and the glowing thing. Not that one, this one. It looked like a lot like that, but without the eyes glowing. And and then the beginning of the 10-month training. But I'm not considering now. But I will continue later. The sludge monster, he still goes down the same path. So he still interacts with the sludge monster, meets All Might, gets his autograph. He still hangs on to his leg because he wants to ask All Might if he can still become a hero, even with a quirk that makes him look terrifying to people. All Might said that it doesn't matter what type of quirk you have, as long as you use it. It depends on how you use it. If you use it for evil, if you use it for villaininess, it's a villain quirk. If you use it for hero-ness, it is a hero quirk. And Izuku was happy about that. And then also another ability he found out was teleportation. But he wasn't that good at it. He couldn't teleport if he knew. He couldn't teleport too far. So he teleported off the building, and All Might realized he checked his pockets, and he realized that the sludge monster wasn't in there, the sludge villain. And like in canon, Baku kicked the bottle. Sludge villain came out, captured him, and when all that stuff happened, where he was basically a hostage, the sludge monster was using Bakugo as basically leverage. And pretty much everyone the same. Izuku still cared for Bakugo, but not as much as canon Deku, because he still wanted to be a hero, and he wanted to save everyone. So he teleported across everyone, teleported directly at the sludge villain. He also discovered a few other abilities. He had another thing. What stands as blue magic. He was using it on the sludge monster and on Bakugo. He was using it to keep the sludge monster at bay, so it could stay still. But it was hard, very hard for him. And pulling out Bakugo was all hard the same as well. It was pretty hard to pull someone and to keep someone at bay. And he slipped up, and the sludge monster was about to strike him. But then, like in canon, All Might saved them both. And after Izuku was scolded from the heroes, he went home with a low head. He didn't want to be near Bakugo. Bakugo was still insulting him like always. So he teleported away and teleported back to his house. So he didn't meet All Might. And he went back home and went back to his room, sobbing in sadness of how his once childhood friend turned into his bully. Okay, that's the end of the story. See you guys next time. Bye.